Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career, was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there, or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one, so I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on the surface, but I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, in the past I was, and it gave me some, defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, everyone could be the one, but I think I have to just take it a match at a time and just feel it out and enjoy it. I think when you focus too much on the destination, you don't enjoy the journey there. So now I want to focus more on the journey, and if the destination gets there, that's great.
If there's one match from Rafa's story where you think that was a missed opportunity, there was a big chance.
I have matches.
2
or 3 in Australian Open. No more. We lose the opportunity in Wimbledon against Djokovic in semi-final.
2018.
Then we lose the opportunity, more important because that was semi-final. We lose the opportunity in Australian Open. In the Australian Open 2014, 2012 and 2017.
Yeah.
In 14 because he has an injury against Babrinka that before he had never lose against him. Then with Djokovic and Federer, he had breakup in the 5th.
Yeah.
And 40-30 or the 30-50. I don't remember well. It was a ball very close, goes up. But this is what happened. There was in Roland Garros 2009. Of course, he I am sure that he won. He will win. He won this tournament when he has no problems in his knee, because at this moment he was the best. He won Australian Open, then he won the tournaments on clay, and he arrived with problems in Roland Garros. For this reason, in my opinion, he lose. But there are others time that maybe he has to lose and he won.
Wide from Jabeur, 40-30.
Nervy. I mean, she just wanted Sabalenka to make a mistake, I think, on that point.
She's playing for the Sabalenka unforced error. And then the minute she tried to go for the backhand, it was tight and dragged out wide. And the crowd are applauding. Her coach is trying to lift her up. One more match point.
She's done it with an ace!
Ons Jabeur has just made a Wimbledon final for the second year in a row. Ladies and gentlemen, what a comeback. What a player. Ons Jabeur, the hero of the Arab world.
I couldn't be happier.
The Wimbledon
the
final.
Couldn't be happier. Tennis couldn't be happier.
his game when the big occasions come up. So he has to be one of the top favorites. I truly believe we had a podcast ourselves yesterday, which I do with Patrick Kuhnen, called Mad Dog and Wingman. And we spoke about that obviously as well, the outlook. And I picked Carlos Alcaraz as the winner this year. Just because he won just his first title on grass. I think he is extremely, in a way, extremely able to adapt to situations and to challenges, not just because he has the game, just because he's loving it. You know, he loves it to challenge himself. And I think he has learned a lot of players. When you look back at the French Open semifinals against Novak, his breakdown, his physical and mental breakdown, with a lot of players, you would say, like, well, they would struggle with that for the next weeks and months to come. I think with Alcaraz, he has learned a huge lesson from that match, and it will never happen again to him. I think it made him even stronger and a better player, and that's why I really feel like he believes he can Wimbledon, and he wants to prove to the world that that was a one-off, and it's not going to happen again. And I think if you would look at it and he would be honest, maybe he would say, like, I want to play the final against Novak, and I want to prove to the people that's not going to happen again, and I'm able to win this. So my pick really is Carlos Alcaraz.
I know we're coming to the end now, Marco, but
Ready? Play.
Well, hello there, and welcome to Talking Tennis's coverage of the Wimbledon draws. I'm here to just get us started. Damien will be here shortly. But yeah, for those who are wondering, are they starting yet? No. I've got the video in front of me. Nothing's being broadcast as yet, so we'll be going through about 10 o'clock. But we still have plenty to kind of talk about. And Damien is here. Hello, Damien. You excited?
Yeah, I'm a bit afraid it's going to be like the usual draw ceremony, you know, when they start at 10, but actually it's going to be like 30 minutes of total BS and dance what they get to the draw. But I don't know.
Is that how Wimbledon draws usually work?
That's how they usually work, yeah.
Okay. Well, we've got about...
I mean, I don't know if it's Wimbledon, honestly. I don't remember. I think I was on this live stream last year, but, you know, it's all just like getting mixed up in my head. So I actually don't know.
There's a lot of Grand Slams like who do the draws. I mean, look.
Yeah, I think it's just the French and Wimbledon that we've been doing this for, because the US just kind of releases the draw, and Australia is like middle of the night, and I think they maybe also just release the draw. But yeah, we've just been doing this for the French and the Wimbledon, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But this is a lot more fun, it has to be said. So, so I guess let's talk about it. So we've got thoughts ahead of it. Obviously, which you want to start talking about with, the men's or the women's?
I don't really know. To be honest with you, I don't know if I have many thoughts. I mean, there's definitely a few players on the men's side where I'm like desperately looking for where they will be in the draw, like Berrettini, for example. Or when you have the women's, I will be desperately looking for where Alicia Parks is in the draw, for example.
Yes.
But yeah, in terms of the big seeds, I guess we're just going to be trying to find some potential danger in their draws, right? And there was some comment from Ashley. Damien, what do you think about Richard Gasquet not get there in the number 1 C's French Open? Not getting through your feelings, guys. The number 1 C's French Open not getting through.
That might be qualifying. Yeah.
So do you mean Pechi Perry? No, I don't know. Do you mean Pechi Perry? I mean, Gasquet, I think we said yesterday on the stream after the qualies that, like, the fact that he didn't make it out of this section just tells you he's probably very close to being done, because it literally couldn't be any easier. Crawford was playing his first Wimbledon, first grass match in his pro career. Galarneau, I think he's second because he had won his first round. And I mean, Vitkov-Shiva is not a grass courter either. So I think that was really a massive disappointment for Gasquet. This section seemed to be like very much like building up for him. The French guys not doing well. A few of them qualified, right? So
yeah, fair few of them did, yeah.
If it's correct, Jean-Marie, yes, it is correct, because the first guy, I mean, the defending champion has to start Monday, so I believe you are correct. I think one guy had 32 aces lost. That's Maxime Cressy, but Pecci Pericard had 44 aces and lost.
Ouch. Yeah, they're both guys with huge serves, of course. So I think let's go. Let's talk along these lines of unseeded players that were looking for placement in the draw. So on the men's side, we've mentioned Berrettini already as the obvious one. Who else are we looking at as kind of a potentially nightmare first round draw for a seed?
There were a few players I was thinking of earlier, but of course Draper got to a seed. Raonic is not there, which is important.
I've got about 3 names on my list that I could throw your way. Roman Safiullin, I don't think he's seeded. Jordan Thompson and Zhang Zhizhen.
I am a fan of the Thompson pick. I think Zhang can lose to absolutely anyone in the first round, and obviously beat anyone in the first round as well. And Safiullin, I guess, the same. But Thompson is like the one that I would kind of expect to win some matches. I like the Thompson pick. Not sure about Stan. Yeah, I know some people have. I just don't think it's quite the same threat level as Berrettini, you know? I don't think he's quite in the same tier. Ashley also said something about like, oh, if Murray pulls out, who gets in? There were 4 players in the lucky loser draw. Their order is random, and we don't know it. It's Pecci Pericard, Duckworth, Galan, and Vanache. One of them, but we don't know the order of in which they were drawn. But yeah, Berrettini, I think, is kind of just in a league of his own in terms of the unseeded threats to me. And if he gets some huge seed in the first or second round, oof.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be like one of the early matches of the tournament, right? Yeah, you're gonna. That's kind of the must-watch if that situation happens. Especially, I mean, we've got Francesco in the chat saying it's their dream final is Sinner versus Berrettini. I think a lot of things might have to happen for that to go. Do you have a preference for which half of the draw Alcaraz ends up in? Do you think it would be better for him to be in the Sinner half or the Djokovic half? In terms of maybe
Djokovic, I mean, probably Djokovic, because we don't know what sort of physical state he'll be in game-wise as well. So probably Djokovic, because he's less of a guarantee to get to the semi. I don't think Sinner is quite as much of a guarantee to get to the semi as he was at the French, as Alcaraz was, just specifics of the surface. But Sinner is probably more likely, and I think on grass, like from what we've seen in the Alcaraz-Sinner rivalry so far, it seems like Yannick would be the one having that 1-2 percentage edge ahead of the match. So I think Carlos would rather avoid that. And with Novak, of course, this year he's been kind of well, I mean, he still hasn't had an event he would be really satisfied with. So I think clearly Alcaraz Djokovic would be the easier potential half for Carlos. And you have the draw now, Iga Świątek in it already, and Coco Gauff as well. Okay,
yes,
so
number 2 seed. Yeah, so we're going into the women's draw first. So yeah,
so we have Świątek Gauff again in the semis, if of course the seeds hold up.
Gauff's the second seed.
Oh no, Gauff's the second seed. Okay, yeah, okay. I have to enlarge this. Right, I forgot about that. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Coco Gauff is worth number 2, which is kind of scary.
We've got Rybakina in Iga's half. Rybakina is in Iga's half.
Because they're just showing us the seeds now, right? And then they're gonna like get all the other players drawn in just like at once. I think that's how they did it at Wimbledon now. Okay,
that makes sense. So we've got Świątek Rybakina potential semi-final on seeds. Sabalenka Gauff potential semi-final on seeds. There was always going to be an interesting combination there. Marketa Vondrousova is Iga's quarter. So there we go. Iga Świątek, Marketa Vondrousova, Elena Rybakina will play on day 2. Vondrousova obviously playing to open centre court. Jessica Pegula is going to be in Rybakina's quarter. Zhang Qinwen is in the Sabalenka quarter, which means Jasmine Paolini will be in the Goff quarter.
5-8 seeds don't seem particularly strong, I have to say.
No.
Maybe other than Pegula.
Maybe Pegula. I still think Vondrousova could get quarters, depending on her fitness.
Collins in the Vondrousova section. That's good for Swiatek that it's not hers.
Just avoids Danielle Collins.
Yeah. All right, it couldn't be Swiatek's section, I guess, because she's in the 9-12 seeds. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Jabeur is in the Rybakina section, so that's a potential.
That's actually pretty huge, right? Like if that's a fourth round, of course that was a Wimbledon final 2 years ago.
Those two seem magnetically drawn to each other. We've got Saka in the Zhang section and Keys in the Paolini section.
Yeah, Keys. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pick Madison Keys to go very far this event. I haven't seen her full draw, of course, but
same. Oh, I think.
Oh,
here we go.
Okay.
Ostapenko in Iga's last 16 section.
Okay. Woo. Swiatek Ostapenko, fourth round. Okay.
Samsonova in the Rybakina section as well. Another seed kryptonite as a last 16 because Samsonova does not Rybakina does not match up well with Samsonova.
Swiatek Ostapenko in the fourth round. Okay.
Complete opposite for Sabalenka, who gets Kasatkina. Goff gets Azarenka as her last 16 opponent. That could be potentially tricky for Goff if that happens. Yeah, potential round 4, Rybakina and Jabeur on the cards. Those two are magnetically drawn to each other at Wimbledon, it seems.
Also, Garcia or Ostapenko for Swiatek in the fourth round. Like either way is really tough.
Yeah, they've got to get through each other. Mira Andreeva is drawn for Danielle Collins' third round.
Has Danielle ever had like a decent Wimbledon run? I don't
think she's made last 16. I don't think she's made last 16.
Last 16, okay.
I don't think she's got that far. Maybe she has once, but
I just remembered again about another unseeded player we definitely will be watching out for, and I totally forgot about her. And it's a certain 4-time Grand Slam champion.
Osaka. Yeah. Haddad Maya is in Vondrousova's. Is that Vondrousova's section?
Oh, so they took out Mira out of there?
They've taken Mira out, yeah.
Yeah. Did they mess something up?
I think
so.
Something's gone wrong there.
But like Mira as the 24th seed could have been there. I guess they just put her in by accident, and that's what caused a slight delay as well. Alexandrova Jabeur though, so Jabeur is not really a guarantee to get that far, I suppose. No, is it? No, sorry, it's not. Alexandrova is gonna be.
Oh
wait, I'm
Alexandrova on track to meet Jabeur third round. Andreeva's in the Sakari third round. That's really open for Andreeva. Kostyuk, Kasatkina, those two seem to run into each other a fair bit or be near each other. Navarro Keys potential third round according to seeds. Another delay. But yeah.
Did they mess up again?
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, I think that Andreeva in the Sakari section, like that's an open door for Andreeva to make second week again.
That's better than her initial section, probably. Yeah. I mean, there's Sakari, Zheng, right? That these seeds aren't that strong, I think. So
I mean, we're looking at that Ostapenko potential Iga fourth round. It has to be said that Ostapenko is not particularly in form right now, and she's got Garcia in her section, who also is not.
Yeah, but like either player for Iga is really tough, right? Like these are
two
of her worst matchups on tour.
It is really tough, and I think on grass that's going to be really difficult. My thing is, I'm not sure they're going to get that far.
It's a decent chance one of them gets there. Let's say that. I mean, of course, yeah, it might be someone else completely, but you know, if we have two very erratic players we're unsure about, it's at least a decent chance one of them gets there.
Kalinskay's got Samsonova.
Okay, so they actually did make some mistakes because earlier I think it was Svitolina who was put against Samsonova.
Yes.
And now it's Alexandrova in the Andreeva part. So
Oh gosh,
Andreeva
yeah,
is
they've
still
messed
not in
this
the
up.
draw, actually. What the hell are they doing there?
Bear
Wow.
with us. But yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if the Garcia Ostapenko section ends up being an unseeded player, but it does depend on who gets put in that bit.
Proper clownery from the Wimbledon organizers here. And
Yeah.
Andreeva eventually is going to be in the Kasatkina part. And again with Sabalenka very close. So
Yeah.
they are drawn to one another. Unless, again, we actually put Mirra Andreeva in a different part of the draw.
Yeah, it's all kind of chaotic, really. Yeah, they're having to fix it at the minute. Kostyuk's gone with Keys.
I've never seen this. Like that. This is, a bit of a joke, but
this is. I mean, this is what was wrong with just drawing things out of a hat. You get fewer technical issues.
I mean, they are kinda doing that, right? There is a lady there who's.
I thought it was all computerized.
I mean, you can see on the screen, right?
But I'm not looking at. I'm not looking at the people. I'm looking at the names.
No, but they are drawing things out of not a hat, but out of whatever.
Okay. Siniakov has got Swiatek as the third round.
That's pretty tough as well. Siniakova won Bad Homburg last year. This year, a good run in whatever it was, Berlin, right? And then I think she withdrew this week, but maybe it's just like a precautionary and stuff. I don't know. Where's Bolter? Okay.
Oh, got Bolter.
Pegula. Pretty tough.
Tough, but Bolter has beaten Pegula earlier this year. Bit of Brit optimism there.
I was thinking tough for Pegula rather than tough for.
Oh, okay. There we go. We're on the same page. Yes. Oh, that's not gonna. Oh wait, no. Yastremska Sabalenka, more potential seed kryptonite. Sabalenka does not have a good matchup with Yastremska.
This is confusing to follow.
Noshkov has ended up with Paolini, and Castells ended up with Goff as third round opponents.
Now you have a close up on the men and women who were.
Now they are drawing stuff out of a hat. You are right. So they obviously were using the wrong bowl.
And if memory serves right, I think they're gonna just the computer is just gonna draw all the other players into the draw now. But I don't know. Or maybe it's not right, but yeah, we'll see.
Right. Well, okay. So let's have a look. Iga Swiatek's first round opponent will be.
No, actually, not. They're drawing this as well. Okay.
Sophia Kenin. It's Sophia Kenin again. It's the Australian Open all over again for Iga Swiatek. She's got Sophia Kenin in round 1, potential nightmare. Round 3 with Siniakova, round 4 with Garcia Ostapenko.
How about Petra Martic in the second round? I mean, it's not that easy.
I think she's played Martic at Wimbledon before and beat her, possibly. Or on grass before, anyway. There's a dangerous player in this section, though. Putintseva. She's got Kerber. Oh, Putintseva Kerber's going to be so good.
Yeah, safe to say Iga Swiatek has not gotten a good draw.
She really hasn't.
We can already say that, I think.
Stakusic qualifies, got Siniakova. Tough for Stakusic there.
Don't really see any players in that Swiatek section here that, she has to beat 6-love like she does at many slams, right, in the early rounds.
No, maybe Fran Jones, but...
But yeah, she needs to get there, right? I mean...
Yeah.
I'm not sure she will.
Anna Blinkov has been drawn against Caroline Garcia. That's an interesting first round. Parapotapova, that's going to be a big hitter. Swiatek Kenin, not an easy draw. Though I say that Kenin's not been looking that good recently, but she does seem to lock in when she's got a big player.
Yeah, I think she'll probably raise to the occasion.
Dodan's got Sneaker. Tomjanovic Ostapenko round 1. Oh, those two have history. If anyone remembers their match from 2 years ago, that's going to be a fun rematch. That could be Ostapenko at round 1. Collins Towson. That's Collins an upset alert there, straight away. So many good first rounds already. Maya Sharif and Dalma Galfi. Galfi probably favourite to come through that.
On grass, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she'd be a pretty sizable favourite, yeah.
Osorio is going to be playing Lauren Davis. I actually do quite like seeing us all kind of happen all in one place rather than having to download everything in one go. Freck Haddad Maya. That one's really good depending on Haddad Maya, I think, that match. Krajikova. Kudermetova. I think that's got 3 sets written all over it and probably a lot of chaos as well.
Katie Volinets, Nurlan screaming.
Volinet's pretty okay with that first round draw though with Carl. We've got Christina Buxa next. And she's going to be playing Anna Bogdan. So now we've got Vondrusheva's opponent coming up next out of the draw. Haven't got Katie Bolter. We don't know who she got first round. Vondrusheva's got Bujas Monero. That's not a bad.
You will know pretty soon, yeah. I guess after the first quarter, the main takeaway is Swiatek did not get an easy one. Like it's
Yes.
Rybakina, Elena Gabriela Ruse. I want to watch that. I don't know if it's proper upset alert, but I certainly there is a bit of intrigue.
Ruse could cause some problems, but for what's happening, we're seeing them being drawn out of a hat one at a time. We've got Siegmund and Beindl. We actually haven't seen any Brits drawn out yet, which is interesting.
Fran Jones.
Fran Jones. Yeah, sorry. And Bolter, obviously, as a seed, got Pegula, potential third round opponent.
Alicia Parks, Caroline Wozniacki.
Oh,
here we go. 6-2 Parks.
Depending on how Parks serves that one.
And she could play Fernandez again.
Yeah, who's got Bronzetti in first round. That could be quite tricky for Fernandez.
I have my issues with Lucia Bronzetti.
It depends on which Bronzetti shows up, right?
I don't know. I think it's pretty clear which Bronzetti shows up. It's kind of like a low ceiling, high floor game.
Kalinskay's got Udvardy. Muri Bushkova has got Julia Herrera.
I totally forgot. Recently, I realized that Buskova had that Wimbledon quarterfinal.
Yeah, everyone forgets about that.
Yeah, it was the COVID. I mean, not the COVID one, but the no Belarusians one, and basically there was, of course, a fair few players who went deep there, and they kind of are forgotten about, like Maria or Niemeyer. But still, Buskova is the one I don't remember at all from that event. Whereas Maria Niemeyer, it was such a big story.
Masarova has got Samsonova. Jabert's got Uchijima. I don't know about Uchijima on grass, but that could have been a potential problem for Jabert. We've got Robin Montgomery.
If you're serious about this, it shouldn't be a problem. Like if you're literally one of the title favorites, which Ons should aspire to be, I mean, after 2 finals, it really should not be a problem.
Second round could be tricky if Montgomery comes through that, and I would back Montgomery to make second round from that draw.
I like this round one. Golubic, Niemeyer, 2 former quarterfinalists.
Yes, that's going to be a bit of a fun grass court exhibition there. Magdalene Net's got Elena Svitolina in round 1. That's a tricky one, but we'll see. Katie Bolter has got Tatiana Maria, former semi-finalist. We just mentioned her. Bolter, if she's on, should be able to deal with Tatiana's slice and dice, but could also be disrupted.
You never really know who gets tripped up by it, right? It's kind of tough, but yeah.
Harriet Dart's got Zhishon Bai, so potential all-British second round Bolter Dart and rematch of 2 people who may not like each other that much. But that's
right. There was this bit of drama recently. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't like. There's no context. People are just reading body language there. Wang Yu's got Tomova, who's currently in the semi-finals of Bad Homburg, and Ashlyn Kruger's got Jessica Pegula, so All-American first round. That's the first half of the draw, guys. So yeah, Osaka's in the bottom half of the draw. We got Sung playing Sun. Yeah, we're waiting for some other names to come out the hat here. We've got Van Hoedvank against Storov. That could be quite fun, I think. Could be one to watch if you got a ground pass at Wimbledon to go and check out. Begusu.
Like a low-key section in general. I'm not really sure what to make of it, unless Qin Zheng suddenly finds her grass footwork and her grass game.
Yeah, she's a lot more. Townsend Pavlyuchenkova. That's going to be fun. Oh, here we go. Raducanu is playing Ekaterina Alexandrova in round 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's horrible. Oh. That's horrible for either player, really. Maybe even worse for Raducanu.
Yeah, because I don't think she's played a really big hitting player yet.
Yeah, I don't know if she holds up that well against someone like Alexandrova, to be honest.
That depends on Alexandrova, I suppose.
A lot depends on Alexandrova, yes, for sure.
She's been a bit patchier this grass court run.
Still a pretty expert grass courter, although she did make 90 errors against Brengel last year.
All right, Maria Sakkari's got McCartney Kessler in round 1. Sakkari, very vulnerable seed to an upset. Is Kessler that person who could do that?
Maybe. I don't know how seriously we treat Sakkari, here anyway. Like, if we just think she's going to lose in the first or second round, then who cares who she loses to? If she can actually go deep, yeah, I guess she could go through the first 2 rounds, but is she going to beat Alexandrova Raducanu? Probably not.
Another Brit, Lily Miyasaki's got Tamara Korpatch, probably backing Korpatch in that one.
Badosa Muchova.
Oh, 2 comeback players against each other.
That's 2 players who are definitely not fully fit right now, but hopefully they will find their best shape.
It's an all-teenager clash. Brenda Kvitova's playing Mira Andreeva. That's going to be fun for those who want to see what the future of tennis could be.
It's a good story, but there's one player there who's definitely a bit further ahead in her development, it seems.
I'm definitely interested in that match. Mukova, a lot of excitement about Mukova in the chat. Yeah, I think let's see. Hopefully that wrist is
hopefully it's fine. Yeah. Hopefully it was nothing, and she just wanted to be ready for Wimbledon, because by the tennis that she showed in that 1 match and 4 games, it seemed like she was ready to be a contender for Wimbledon if fitness allows.
The match with Badosa is going to be tough, though.
I mean, Bektas for Sabalenka, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'd say Sabalenka should win that one. Vekic, Sabalenka potential second round, though. And again, Sabalenka doesn't have a great record with Vekic.
So we still haven't had Osaka, right, in the draw?
No, we haven't. Paolini's got Sorribes Tormo.
Could be a Goff round 1.
That would be hilarious.
It would be, I would probably say... I actually don't know. If I wanted to say Osaka would be the favorite, but I'm actually not sure about that.
I think it depends.
Andreescu maybe could play Osaka again. Is it going to be that? Nah.
No, it's not. It's going to be Jacqueline Christian. I mean, yeah. Heather Watson, Greek Minnen could be interesting as a Brit. There's going to be some hope there for British fans. Irani Noshkova. Noshkova should not knock Irani off the court there, right?
Yeah. Funny to see that Irani third round in this, graph, because I think in 2012, that's when she got golden setted by Shvedova as well.
Shramkova is going to play Kostyuk in round 1.
I'm really kind of just waiting for that Osaka draw, and whenever they show a player now, I'm like, is it gonna be Osaka? Because we're running out of players.
Darius Saville versus Peyton Stearns could be fun.
Schmidlova, Yafan Wang. So it might be Osaka for Keys as well, which is also rather scary for either player, but it's not. It's Ghosty's favorite.
Trevisan Keys, Trevisan's not really a factor on grass, though, is she?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's good for Maddie.
Good opener.
General, the section seems pretty good for Keys. If she doesn't run out of everything in Eastbourne again, just like she did in Strasbourg, right?
Grand Slam champions clash in round one. Stevens and Azarenka.
Yeah, this section, this part of the draw is pretty sick. Azarenka, Stevens, Pliskova, Schneider, and we have Osaka finally. But who is she gonna play?
That's a packed section.
Diane Perry. Okay.
Okay. Osaka should win that, but Paris got a couple of wins on grass recently.
This looks pretty good for Osaka, like the first 2 rounds, and then you can play Azarenka, Pliskova. That's not easy, but the first 2 rounds look okay.
Navarro depends on how much confidence she's built on grass. After Bad
she's in the semis in Bad Homburg. I think she's gonna play Schneider, in fact, so it could be a rematch in the 3rd round here.
Sunday Cartel's got Sorana Castell in round 1 for the Brits. So the British qualifier has got
fairly winnable, but kind of depends on Kirsteav more than Cartel, probably.
Yeah. Any other names we're keeping an eye on? We've got 3 names left to draw out.
Todoni, yeah. Todoni, and then who is the last? No clue.
Yeah, we'll find
Caroline
out.
Dolhide, okay. So the Guadalajara runner-up.
All-American first-round clash, Coco Gauff. Dolhide. So Caroline Dolhide, who's Gauff's got. My reaction to that draw is they seem to have put all the top seeds kryptonite within range of them. All of the top.
What do you mean?
So Swiatek's got
Swiatek, yes. I'm just kind of wondering on the other players.
Rebecca has got Samsonova near her. She does not like playing Samsonova. Okay. And then Sabalenka's got Vekic and Yastramska near her.
I mean, Yastramska with Sabalenka, isn't that just like a totally, in the past?
It is in the past, but that stat exists.
Yeah, it exists. I don't know. For Sabalenka, I don't think it's an issue. For Rybakina, maybe if they play in the 4th round. I just don't know if Samsonova will get there.
And then obviously
Swiatek is probably the biggest kind of loser of this draw, if you may. I don't think we can really call her the percentage favorite to win the title anymore. If we even had that privilege earlier, I don't know. It was definitely the case last year, but
who's that? Sorry,
Swiatek. I mean,
Swiatek. Oh yeah. No, Swiatek. I think is going to have to. Swiatek's got an uphill battle to win the title with this draw.
Gonna have to be super sharp from the 1st round, basically, or I don't know, maybe the 2nd round or whatever, But yeah, certainly cannot hope for a lot of these like usual 6-1s she gets at the slams.
Yeah, I don't think, and that wasn't really happening on grass anyway. So Kenin is tough opener for her on paper.
It was happening for her on grass as well, last year, the first few rounds, right? For example, so.
Yes, but it's not as often.
If there is that huge quality gap that exists between her and like pretty much any player outside the top 50, then it still happens. But there's also like here you have Kenin, former slam champ, of course. She also played the guy in a slam final. There's Martic, who of course was in the top 20. So there's like no real slowdown unless like Fran Jones makes the 2nd round.
Martic last year in round 3 and ended up winning fairly comfortably.
I don't remember who her 3rd round opponent was last year,
I think
but
it
maybe.
was 3rd round. By the way, I am agreeing with Ghibli's comment that Garcia, Collins, Ostapenko aren't particularly reliable. So for me, I actually think that her potential threats could well fall away by the time she gets to the 3rd, 4th round.
They could, but just having them, having 2 of them makes it more likely than that one of them makes it, at least. And yeah, Swiatek beat Martic 6-7-5 at Wimbledon last year.
Yeah. So, Putintseva, yeah, that's an interesting one to see where she ends up, because she is a tricky person in that draw. She's kind of a bit of a dark horse out there, I would say.
And Jamori is right to point out that Dolheids did almost take a set against Goff at the Australian Open. I mean, pretty much should have, unless she didn't choke hard.
By the way, thank you so much for the $5, Maria. Really appreciate it. I said, like, Iga doesn't have that much at stake at Wimbledon, but she's still, I think she's still enough of a competitor that she's going to want to do well, and she doesn't want her rival.
Can be a threat to someone really good. I mean, she did push Swiatek really hard in Indian Wells in that second set, right? Or Miami, one of them either. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it depends on. No, I think Putintseva is a threat. I think Putintseva has been getting a lot of confidence. She's definitely been building up results. She's won Birmingham, looked fairly convincing there. So if your definition of actually good is like a handful of players, then maybe. But my definition is a lot wider than that.
She was very close to taking out Turbakina as well, of course, in Madrid. And yeah, just in general, I think Putintseva is the kind of player that a real top star can beat 6-2, 6-2. But you give her something in that match. You start being just a little uncertain about your game, and then it can just unravel for you against someone like that. Of course, one of the best competitors out there, Putintseva. So yeah, I don't think it's that easy. I mean, it's always a match that can be potentially tricky if you're not on top of your game, really. Raducanu has a tough opener, saying Ghibli says the British press will be hoping Emma and her associated headlines get through. They will be, but, well, yeah, this is a very tough round one. I agree about that Putintseva comment, yeah. It's just always a match that can trip you up if you're just, not playing your A game, really. And we'll see. And of course, I'm talking from the perspective of a top player if you're not playing your A game. But yeah.
Looks like they're coming out to make the men's draw now. So Jannik Sinner will be the number 1 seed. Novak Djokovic will be the number 2 seed.
Back to the confusing seeded draw, but it's still pretty nice, I have to say. Despite the screw ups earlier, especially the way the unseeded players were put into the draw, I think they were given a lot of time, and they were given sort of a lot of spotlight, which I like. I remember there was a slam which used to do just seeds, and then everyone is at the same time. That's maybe the French, actually. Maybe that's the French. And that sort of system was a lot trickier to follow.
We know where Alcaraz is. He's in Sinner's half. Alcaraz is in the Sinner half. We will not be getting an Alcaraz Sinner Grand Slam final yet.
Not yet, yeah. Maybe Shapovalov, Alcaraz, or Sinner. Recounting the famous prediction that, is kind of in danger.
Yeah. So at the minute, Djokovic probably breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. But let's see how the rest of his draw works out.
Sinner in the Medvedev quarter hasn't beaten him in ages, I guess, by now, but still.
Medvedev hasn't beaten Sinner.
And that's good for Alcaraz. I mean, Casper Ruud in his quarter.
Oh, yeah. That's going to make Alcaraz's life a lot easier, depending on what other seeds show up there.
The best grass player ever. There's also that Rublev-Zverev quarter, which both kind of suck on grass. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of options for unseeded players to do well there, or some other seeds. And Hurkacz-Djokovic quarter final.
Yeah. So
I guess if we assume Novak gets to the quarters, then he's going to be the favorite there. But who knows? Maybe he's just going to bomb out. Maybe he's not going to play. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how much of a because Hurkacz pushed Djokovic last year. If Djokovic is vulnerable, maybe Hurkacz gets the win this time. Dimitrov, Medvedev, 4th round. Paul Ruud, probably Paul versus whoever comes through Ruud's section.
Paul Ruud?
Yeah, indeed, Paul Ruud, distant Swedish cousin of Paul Rudd. Tsitsipas, Rublev, 4th round. Diminor, Hurkacz, 4th round. That's going to be fun if that happens. That's a grass court. 2 very different ways of doing well on a grass court there.
Yeah, that's not amazing for Hurkacz that he has demeanor in the fourth round. There were much easier options, like Stefanos Tsitsipas, for example.
Yeah, Sinner's got Humbert. Fourth round. Oh no, he's not. He's got Ben Shelton. They've messed up again.
Oh my!
I think Sinner might
will be the Alcaraz one. Okay. I mean, let's see if Ugo even gets there. He just lost to Bautista Agut in Mallorca, but that's potentially tricky.
Yeah, Humbert's not an easy opponent on grass.
Taylor Fritz could do very well here. I mean, given that he has Zverev, Tsitsipas, and Rublev around.
Yeah, you might. At the minute, he might be. Let's see who else is there. We've got Runa's got Djokovic as a fourth round.
Yeah. How about an upset alert there? But like, we gotta see how Novak looks first. Like that's.
We also got to see how Runa looks.
We don't really have to see how he looks. I mean, with him, it's just so random that I don't think form matters whatsoever. It's kind of like whether he gets to the fourth round, and if he does, he can play a peak match out of nowhere, and he can also be absolutely trash for a match. I mean, it's
oh, so Jarry has got Shelton as a third round opponent, potentially Sinner as a fourth round opponent. So we get to get he's near the top seed for the second year running. Manarino's got Dimitrov third round. Bias has got them there third round.
Dimitrov just killed Manarino in Queen's Club last week, right?
Yeah. Bublik Paul potential third round.
Oh, Sebi Korda, where's the semifinalist? Yes, he's in that weak quarter. Sebastian Korda to the semis. I told you guys. I said it. It's here. Andrei Rublev, Stefanos Tsitsipas in the third round. I mean, this is really a dream draw for Sebastian Korda so far, unless he gets like a Berrettini round one.
Korda or Fritz so far favorite to come through that section.
Yeah, I mean, that section is really lined up there. Sebastian Korda, Wimbledon semi-finalist. I told you. We all picked it last year. We all believed it. It didn't happen. This time, no one will believe it, and it will happen.
Runa Khachanov, potential third round. Sinner-Higgsbo, rematch from Halle, potential third round.
And Zhang Medvedev as well. Rematch for
rematch
Halle.
For that. Tiafoe Alcaraz third round.
That's not a rematch for Halle, definitely not. Although it is a rematch for a US Open semi. Oh, and Mariano Navone, the strongest seed in the draw. Oh, he gets Casper Ruud.
Oh my word, you're pretty much guaranteed a non-seed in the fourth round there, right?
I think so, yeah. If you get like a Shapovalov or a Berrettini there, they will love it. And where's Jack?
That's also pretty important. Third round.
Okay.
Jack Draper's got
Zverev.
Oh.
That's a Korda Draper round 4, mark my words. Unless they get like tough unseeded opponents, but Korda and Draper will love this quarter.
Cerundolo's got Hurkacz and Echeverry's got Djokovic. Oh my word, they can't keep those two apart. So yeah.
Okay, let's roll the unseeded players in. Sinner Berrettini round 1 is what I'm predicting. Let's see.
Oh, Mario would go insane if that happened.
I would go insane as well, and I would scream Berrettini will win. But let's see. Who is it gonna be? Yannick Hartmann. Okay. Yannick is getting through that one, and I think it's the Yannick with the J and the K. Oh, and Berrettini second round for Sinner.
Oh, it's happening, people. It's happening.
That's actually something, by the way, that I remember saying on that on one of the shows like 2 weeks ago. That like Berrettini Sinner in the second round, that's an upset alert, you know?
Berrettini's got Fucsovics in round 1.
I stand by it.
Yeah, Berrettini should get through that. Sumit Nagal, people, he's out already in the first here. Matthew Ruud is not in the Djokovic section. Nagal's got Kecmanovic. Ruud is in the Zverev section, I think. But yeah, he's nowhere near Djokovic. It's Hurkacz is near Djokovic.
Oh, Denis Shapovalov, the champion, pretty tough against Nicolas Jarry here. I will say something bold. I don't think that prediction is going to work out at Wimbledon. I'm sorry.
No, probably
sorry,
not.
Sid. I'm sorry if you're watching this. I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, because like he's got to get through Synod. Like that Shapovalov, yeah. Oh, Altmaier Ferry first round, first Brit to be seen today, other than Draper. Altmaier Ferry probably Altmaier wins that round probably. Harris Mickelson. That could be quite an interesting one. Bellucci's got Shelton. Oh, danger trouble for Shelton there.
Yeah, I mean anyone can beat Shelton, I think so. But yeah, it's not just anyone. Yeah, sure. I mean, Mattia has a good shot. I think should be similarly dangerous on serve, honestly, and probably make it a bit of a lottery match.
Dimitrov will be happy with Lajovic as a first round.
Yeah, first round is okay. Garin Shank second. That's pretty tricky. Just tell me it's not Wawrinka Murray again, by the way. Okay,
No,
Wawrinka Charles Broom. Wow.
He didn't get Murray, but he got a different Brit.
Yeah. Slightly less interesting Brit. Monfils Manarino. I think that was a match at Wimbledon years ago. It was a 5-setter. Don't remember the year.
That's going to be spectacular. We're going to have to get a stream for that just for Kren.
Right.
But yeah, Zhang Zhangvier. Actually, yeah, Monfils Manarino. That's going to drive Kren insane. Oh, here's Struffy. See what he's got. Marajan. Oh, 2 big games against each other for round 1. That could be fun. We're just sort of making our way through the draw. We're seeing some names here. Another all French clash, Muller Gaston. The French probably happy that they're getting at least one person through into the couple of people through into round 2.
I feel like Kova has been getting horrible draws at slams. Dimitrov recently, Djokovic last year.
Yeah, Kovacevic.
Oh, Mark Layal against Alcaraz. That's painful for the Estonian.
Oh, the man that Damien tipped for hope had got the worst possible draw. No chance of an Alcaraz upset.
Could be the worst possible draw, actually. Yeah. No, I think Layal has a better chance at Alcaraz than at Sinner, maybe even than at Djokovic. But still, yeah, that's a horrible draw.
Ghibli saying it's an easy first round draw for Carlos. I wouldn't go that far.
I think so. I think it's way too much for Layal, which is saddening. But well, what can you do? He's still qualified, which should set him up nicely for the rest of the season. Matteo Arnaldi has a free win in the opening round. Nice.
Yeah, Arnaldi Tiafoe. That's going to give Arnaldi has a very good chance of winning that, provided it's in self-destruct. Nakashima should beat Baez as well. That's another seed potentially out there. Nakashima is comfortable at Queens-ish. I would definitely say that's doable for the American. Jordan Thompson's got Pavel Kotov in round 1, potentially playing Baez and Nakashima in round 2. So again, Thompson, another dangerous non-seed we've been talking about before. Maybe eyeing up a 3rd or a 4th round here. Liam Brody's got Botic van der Zandschulp.
Some of the photos are hilarious.
Shevchenko Humbert. Here we go. Yeah, that section, I think that's going to be fairly open. Torrey Paul's got Pedro Martinez, not a bad first round.
Wait, who's Otto playing? Okay, they're just gonna show it now. Max Purcell.
Okay.
That's doable.
That one's got 5 sets written all over it.
It might, yeah. And we have Zizou Bergs as well, one of the other very dangerous qualifiers, who's gonna play Arthur Cazot. That's pretty good for Zizou, I think, given Cazot's form. He could play Bublik in the 2nd round. It's a nice section. I mean, if we had on Menchik Bublik as well. I mean, this is a good one. Menchik, Bergs, Virtanen. if we have one of these guys coming out of this, it would not be a surprise. I know Tommy Paul is kind of like the hot favorite maybe there, but it's not like he's unbeatable. And Sonego gets a free win in the first round. Well done, Lorenzo.
Well, he Lorenzo does what he does, and he shows up. I mean,
he's had a horrible year. He's like 9-17 or something like that. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna beat Navone on grass.
Ghibli thinks Navone is winning it, but I think that's optimism there.
Nah, mate. Bet on it if you want to, because the odds will be crazy. But nah.
RBA's got Martira.
I kind of wish there was some like real proper like massive, unseeded player in this section, and we kind of don't have them because like Navone, Ruud, they are both so vulnerable, but we kind of didn't get like a huge. But Bolt Ruud is actually really open, I think.
Yeah, because Bolt's obviously mainly on serve, but
is he?
Yeah, but I reckon he probably serves his way through that one. Rublev's gotten a relatively easy first round, depending on how he is.
Easy first 2 rounds, yeah.
First couple of rounds, yeah. The draw's been kind to Rublev so far.
Kometsania hasn't recovered from the injury and on grass in general. Well, I mean, he has some degree of grass game when he's feeling very confident, but yeah, post-injury, it just hasn't been like it. Choinski, Lestien, that's very easy for the seeds there in general. Musetti and Rublev really should meet in the third round, I think. Unless maybe Musetti loses to Darderi, but I don't know.
I think Musetti's probably favourite. Rublev Musetti could be quite competitive in the third round, if that's what we get.
Yeah, I think so. But Korda
Djokovic Fokina.
That's kind of nasty.
Looking less good for Korda now.
Yeah. That's like kind of the asterisk that we'll be putting, Sebastian Korda makes the semis. No, sorry. Let's say makes the quarters because of Draper. Let's say he makes the quarters if he beats Davidovich Fokina. I'm putting an asterisk to it. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to continue.
At the minute, the favourites to come out of the section are, for the semi-finals, are Korda, Fritz and Draper.
Yeah, I think so. As long as Davidovich Fokina is not seeded at slams, he's gonna keep being this like one of the worst draws you can get, really. And of course, he kind of was to Casper Ruud as well at the French.
Taylor Fritz has got Chris O'Connell in his opening round. Who did Tsitsipas get? Tara Daniel.
Yeah, that's easy. Kei Nishikori, I mean, we'll see if he plays. Just pulled out of Eastbourne, but
could have been precautionary. That's the thing with these tournaments week before slams. You can't read too much into those. Rinderknecht. Oh, that's going to be a tough one. That's got 5-setter, I think, on it.
Nishikori is a beast in 5-setters, of course.
Probably one of the best.
We have some more issues with the draw. It kind of seems like it.
Here we go again. There's been some confusion again.
But no, we're back. We just don't have the player profiles anymore.
Kabali Hijikata is an explosive first round. And then Dan Evans has got Alejandro Tabio in round 1. That's tough for Dan Evans. Jack Draper has Elias Ymer in round 1. Draper should be winning that.
Yeah. And so far, Jack is really getting a nice draw. I mean, Cam Nori or Diaz Acosta. That's like, if he doesn't make the third round, it's purely his fault here, I think.
Draper Nori's gonna be centre court if that happens.
I actually don't know how he's I don't know how he's not making the third round here.
Henry Searle, another Brit. We've got a packed Brit section here for this sort of I don't know, 30 seconds. Giron, Searle, oh, tough for the teenager. Kabayas Baina's got Zverev in the first round. Yeah, Zverev got Kabayas Baina, and then the winner of Searle or Giron in round 2. Hurkacz has got Albot round 1. Another
That's very easy.
Yeah.
And then
After all-
Fils or Stricker. Gonna be a fun match either way. Stricker actually beat him on grass in Stuttgart in 2021, I think it was.
Yeah, her
But
catch.
of course, he's kind of... Oh, and we have the man, the myth, the legend, Andy Murray, who's gonna play Thomas Machac.
Oh, again? The guy who he injured his ankle against in Miami. This man seems destined to end Andy Murray's career.
Your dark horse Roman Safiullin is also there playing Franz Cerundo.
That could be quite a fun first round match, actually. If both players are really swinging for it. Yeah, I don't see Andy going through that first round against Machac. Felix Auger-Aliassime against Thanasi Kokkinakis. That's a crowd pleaser. That's definitely one to check out if you have a ground pass. That's probably where they're probably on court 18 or something. It's most likely where they put it. Puy should get through that one. He'll be happy with that if he's fit.
Billy Harris, the man who's playing for a top 100 debut today, later, playing Munar. That's doable.
Definitely doable for Billy Harris, especially on grass. Mute and Diminor. Tough. Depends on which Mute turns up. Maybe not on grass against Diminor. Holger Rune, Soon Woo Kwon. Rune's going to be happy with that first round.
And the Mallorca semi-finalist, Paul Jubb, taking on Thiago Seyboth-Wild. That's a good one.
That is going to be a good
round. Yeah.
Winner to play probably Holger Rune. So that's a good second round, whoever wins that one.
Christopher Eubanks is losing 360 points against Quentin Wallace. We'll see, but certainly a very serve-oriented contest. And Alice did very well at that when he played Baby Zhukayev yesterday.
Or Russian battle, Karatsev-Khachanov.
Okay, that's really tough for an opener, I think. Anytime you play Karatsev, really.
I'd still back Khachanov to win it, but I think Karatsev could make it very close. Echeverry Nardi could be a lot of fun.
Like you kind of lose control over the match when you're playing against him. And that's rough. This is an open one. Echeverry Nardi, Popperin, Monteiro. Really could be anyone's game. That's a good third round as well for Novak potentially, but let's see if the second round and first round are going to be as good for him.
Yeah, because we haven't seen Shapovalov yet, have we? Yeah, we have, yeah.
Okay, I mean, sure. I would like to see Morokanias beat Djokovic, but I just don't know if it's quite the same caliber despite all the improvements. And Vitkov Shiva, I mean, what a draw for Novak. I mean, Novak really should be making the second week here.
He should be making the second week. And then it'll get tricky for him second week, but yeah.
It gets tricky for everybody in the second week. But yeah, the first 3 rounds for Novak kind of tailor-made. I really don't know, if there's a better scenario for him here.
Yeah, Novak probably very happy with that draw. I don't think any of the top, unlike in the women's draw, I don't think any of the top seeds in the men's are going to be too unhappy with the draws that they got.
Yeah, I'm trying to make up with the chat a little bit. Any roadblocks for Tommy Paul reaching quarterfinals? I think there were, right? I mean,
yeah, he is. I think he's favorite to make quarter because he's in Ruud's quarter.
No, but there were roadblocks. I think in his second or third round, there were a few very dangerous players. It was that Menchik Bergs Virtanen one. So yeah, a lot of roadblocks for Tommy Paul to reach the quarters, I think.
So if he gets through a tough first week, then he should make the quarters.
Yeah, because it's that Navone Ruud one, and it's not that tough there. So yeah, making the quarters, I think for Paul, might be more dependent on whether he makes it through round 2, round 3 than round 4.
Yeah. Thoughts on Nagal, Kecmanovic for Ghibli and Sahil? We've got some questions about how Nagal's going to do there. He's got Kecmanovic round 1.
Probably not great, right? I mean, Kecmanovic is pretty solid on grass, serves well, serves much better than Sumit. I mean, Kecmanovic is clearly the favorite, but it's also not the worst.
But then round 2 against Griekspoor, I would back Griekspoor in that scenario. Because I think Griekspoor beats Carreño Busta on grass.
Griekspoor beats Carreño Busta on grass? Yeah, probably. It's one of the easier round ones. Carreño Busta just played Mallorca and lost to Carballes Baena. In fact, I don't know if Pablo Carreño Busta has a win at Wimbledon in his career. I think he might be out still, right? I mean, he might be like 0-7 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not a good record.
Which is a little weird because he likes quick conditions. It's not a problem for him really. So I'm kind of surprised by that record, but I do believe he's winless. And well, he's 7-15, but at Wimbledon he lost to Ferrer, Monfils, Raonic, Albot, Popperin, Querrey, Lajovic. Yes, so he is 0-4 whatever at Wimbledon. 0-7. Pretty tough draws as well, I have to say. I mean, Ferrer, Monfils, Raonic. Some of them he could have won, like Albot or, well, kind of Albot and Lajovic, but he retired in that match. Yeah. And Ghosty, I mean, Ghosty. Ghibli is right, of course, that Ruth probably will be at some sort of concert.
I'm looking at this.
The Weekend, I think it was last year, right? Wasn't it? I think it was the Weekend, but I don't.
Yeah, I think it's Taylor Swift's now left the UK. She'll be back in August. But I'm looking at this section. I think the top 3 player, if we're looking at the top 3 being the names to watch for the title, Alcaraz is probably the least happy, depending on whether he gets Tommy Paul quarterfinals. So Tommy Paul comes through.
I don't think so. I mean, Yannick has Berrettini in the second round.
Oh, I forgot about Berrettini. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can just look at the seeds here. I think Carlos is actually pretty okay with this because, like, if it's not Tommy Paul, it could be a pretty easy quarter for him.
Yeah.
So I think Carlos is actually the biggest winner for me out of this draw, whereas Sinner would be the biggest loser out of the 3 main favorites for sure, just because he has Berrettini in the second round. And the first 2 rounds for Novak, they just seem so easy. So
yeah. So yeah, I agree. Like Sinner Berrettini round 2, I forgot about that one. I think I was skimming. I was looking at everything except the round 2 match for Sinner.
Yeah, I think, but by just purely on this, like he's the one out of the 3 who got the toughest draw. Oh, and we have our friend of the show from yesterday posting the draw as well.
I tell you what, though, it's very clear that the thing that we are most excited about by this men's draw is that third quarter, given how open it is. Like, it's going to be it's pretty open for who can make the semifinals from that section.
It's no wonder, right? If you think about it, I mean, it's not the Alcaraz one, it's not the Sinner one, it's not the Djokovic one. It's that fourth quarter that was always going to be like the center of attention. And yeah, there's enough intrigue there. There's enough quality players, maybe not even seeded in the top 16, but guys like Draper or Korda who can make it far. Maybe Davidovich Fokina if he beats Korda. There's Musetti as well, who's been doing pretty well on grass the last couple of years. Yeah, it's just the seeds there are pretty vulnerable, other than Fritz maybe. So this one definitely is going to have a story in it, whereas the other 3 could just be like the main favorites sprinting to the semis, and we wouldn't be surprised. Like it's a possibility. I'm not saying it will happen, but it is a possibility. You know, Hurkacz playing Draper, Hurkacz playing Djokovic maybe in the quarters. Okay, that's not easy. Sinner playing Berrettini in the second round. That's not easy. But like we literally could have the 3 top seeds just making their way to the semis without that much trouble if they manage to avoid some early hiccups against dangerous players. But that third quarter is where things are things are actually gonna, happen.
Yeah, I think that Hurkacz, if he'd been drawn in that section with Zverev, we wouldn't be having this conversation because he'd be the heavy favorite to come through. Because he's been drawn with Djokovic, that's what's opened it up. And yeah, I think
that's Minor as well, fourth round, right, for Hurkacz. That's yeah, I think if we're gonna like expand this from top 3 favorites and go top 5, 6, then Hurkacz is probably also one of the kind of losers of this draw, if you may, because the Mino round 4, Djokovic quarters, that's one of the worst scenarios he could have gotten. However, it was always gonna be 50% chance for Deminor or Dimitrov, who has that great record against him in the 4th round, and also out of the potential quarterfinalists that Hurkacz could have had, I guess it was 75% for Djokovic, Alcaraz, or Sinner. So in a way, maybe he's actually kind of was like almost guaranteed a pretty tricky 4th round and quarterfinal draw. But yeah, that's what he did get anyway. Like, he didn't get it easy. He's not necessarily close to a Djokovic-like status, I think, right now in terms of being the favorite potentially here. Of course, we have to see what Novak really plays at this Wimbledon, whether he plays. But yeah, it's a couple easy first rounds for Djokovic, and well, that's precisely what you want when you're coming back after some sort of surgical procedure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Djokovic is going to be super happy with this. By the way, I am fully aware that my camera is frozen.
Yeah.
I to have technical difficulties. I will see if I can fix it. But I agree. Djokovic is going to be the one whose earliest rounds he's going to be happiest with, given the circumstances that he is in. And I think we're going to be like, anyone who is not a Novak fan is not going to be happy with that draw.
One on my Twitter is saying that Draper Norrie is tough in the 2nd round.
Do you know what? No, it's because Norrie's on a really bad losing streak. I mean, I saw the BBC Sport website, they put Norrie in the list of dangerous unseeded players. And he is on paper, but when you look at how he's been doing recently, not really.
Yeah, I get it. Like, if we're talking about the most dangerous unseeded players, he might deserve to be in like the top 15/20 of that conversation, but I don't think he's in the top 5 of that conversation. I would put Zizou Bergs above Cam Norrie right now in terms of dangers from unseeded players, for example. And I don't think Zizou is probably in the top 5 of the most dangerous unseeded players either. So
yeah, probably not. Probably not. Yeah. Any other thoughts about the men's draw you wanna pick out from this?
Yeah, not really. I mean, Sinner Berrettini round 2, that's my main takeaway. That's the guy I was sort of, anxious to see where he lands in the draw, and he got into a very, let's say, headline heavy spot. Alcaraz, pretty nice to me. I think kind of like not as easy as Djokovic, definitely. Like, if you just put their draws one against each other, like, of course, Novak has 100 times it has it 100 times easier, but it's still a pretty nice one, I think, for Carlos. And in general, other than that Berrettini 2nd round, I think the top 3 seeds landed some pretty decent sections. It's not the worst for them. Could have been much trickier. We might see all of them in the semis again. Who knows? We'll see. But certainly that 3rd quarter looks like the one that I'll be watching the most, as that's the one where you just have players like Draper, Korda running into seeds that are a bit more vulnerable than in the other ones. So hopefully they deliver, and hopefully we get some rather unexpected but still very dangerous semi-finalists out of that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the summary from that. By the way, someone's asking about when the men's doubles draw is.
It's definitely not today, right? I mean, they're starting the doubles on Wednesday, I think. So it should be
I don't
know, Monday, Tuesday. Just guessing.
Yeah, that's when it usually comes out. Did we get everything out of the women's draw you wanted to talk that was worth touching on?
I think so. What was there? I mean, I think the Swiatek draw is just the biggest takeaway there is in that. And there were a few pretty dangerous, let's say pretty stacked sections, and like Badosa, Muchova. There was that Azarenka, Stevens, and whoever was there, right? And Maddie Keys, I think, got a pretty good draw. And that's kind of what I was looking at. Oh, Raducanu Alexandrova, which we just had flashing on our screen, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's also another one. But yeah, just in general, I don't think there was that much really that happened in there. These players that I mentioned, Azarenka, Stevens, and the likes, they're probably not exactly threats to like win the event. But these are names that we will be watching sort of because of their encounters, their draw in the early rounds for sure. But just like in terms of like the main general thing, Swiatek got a very tough draw. Like that's kind of what we know, and it definitely makes the status of Rybakina or Sabalenka as probably slight favorites ahead of her at Wimbledon. It makes it much bigger now.
Yeah, I think that was always going to be the case to a certain extent.
What's the top in your power rankings?
Well, it's not out yet, but
it's not out. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's not out yet, but
okay.
It will be out soon. I think the producer's currently working on finishing editing it. So we're just gonna. So I'm not going to spoil anything here. So if you are watching, yes,
yeah, don't spoil it. I just thought it was out because I saw you talking about it just quite a long while ago. But yeah, we're waiting on it then, and hopefully
it was recorded. It was recorded on Wednesday, so before the draw came out. So
to be honest with you, now it's kind of pointless now, right?
Yeah.
Because like you recorded this on Wednesday without knowing the draw, and now it's going to come out after the draw. So.
I think when you look at it, you realize
I'm not going to bother with it now. Just going to scrap it.
Wow.
You should record a new one now. I mean,
what about if I do one? I'll do one, and Nick can. I'll leave Nick's out there. I will publish it, and then I'll do one. It'll just be better.
You should put like a disclaimer, that this was recorded before the draw.
Yeah. I don't want to say so in the video anyway. So
Nick,
Look
at Nick's reaction. Look, you can say anything to Nick, and he's going to react exactly the same way.
Yeah, he's like a wall, He's like a Yulia Putintseva out there.
They're Elena Rybakina.
In a way as well. I was thinking more of a play style thing, but rather than emotions. But yeah, in terms of personality, then Rybakina, sure.
Tracer, to answer your question, no, it doesn't. To be honest, not really. I think the names I've picked, I'm still happy with. I'm very glad that some of the names I didn't pick didn't go in. And I think maybe I could swap one or two names around, but it wouldn't make a big difference. My title favorite is still my title favorite.
What's Mahac like on grass, Terry? Decent. Last year, I think he qualified. Played Nori maybe in the first round. I mean, just in general, it kind of suits his game. He likes to take the ball early, approach the net. It's fine. He's probably at his best, I think, in like lower bouncing, slick indoor conditions. So there are some similarities to grass in there. And yeah, thank you for the donation from Maria Skrimapova. Iga doesn't have much pressure on her, so she will be able to swing away without any hesitation. Maybe. I mean, pressure is a tricky thing, right? I mean, we might think that from like a general standpoint, there's not that much pressure on Iga, which I guess is right. I mean, if you won Roland Garros, if you're Swiatek, you probably don't have that much pressure on yourself for the rest of the year. Your number one is also pretty safe for now. But I mean, if you're Swiatek, you might put that pressure on yourself as well. It's just how our mind works. And I guess she should be kind of dreaming about winning another slam than Roland Garros again. I don't think she's quite happy with the breakdown that she has right now. 4 in Paris, just one anywhere else. So I don't know. It might be that she will be putting quite a lot of pressure on herself as well. Probably wasn't. I don't know. Yeah, actually, maybe that's right. That in Australia it was a very different situation. But well, she just ran into that event sort of after an amazing United Cup and never really felt okay with the conditions. If that happens again here, I think it's a possibility. But certainly, it feels like if she makes it through the first few rounds, maybe that would open her up. Yeah.
I would agree with that. I think if she gets through her first couple of rounds, I think she'll be fine. Depending on how her big hitting potential opponents go. What I want to ask you about, obviously, we focused a lot on Iga's draw, rightly so, because that is the big story, is sort of how, once again, a tough draw for Swiatek, and I think the Swiatek fans will be up in arms about it.
They already are on Twitter, yeah.
I'm not looking at Twitter right now. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I'll see it all later. The Rybakina and Sabalenka's draws, you're saying, I mean, I've already shared my potential banana skins. I think they both have big banana skins in their section, but I'm taking it that you would say, probably not, really.
What do you mean about Rybakina or Sabalenka?
So, like, yeah, are you saying that, like, they clearly have less dangerous draws, but you're still fairly confident that they're going to come through?
I don't know if it was realistic to expect them to have like an easier draw. I think what Djokovic got, for example, like that's not the expectation, right? Like that's like the absolute best you can get. Whereas for Rybakina and Sabalenka, it's just like kind of normal, average. And yeah, they're gonna be dangerous. I mean, it's good for them that likely that threat doesn't start in the opening round, which is kind of what is the worst part about Swiatek's draw, right? Or also was it the Australian Open, where like every round can be potentially tricky. I don't know if Sabalenka or Rybakina quite have that. The players you mentioned, I don't know if I treat these things seriously. Yastremska, it was so like such a long way back. Sabalenka plays Vekic at a big event. I would still favor her. In fact, I think she beat her in Australia last year, right? Arena.
Yes, she did.
I think so, right? In the quarters.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So that's kind of to my point. And Rybakina Samsonova, yeah, that's maybe kind of one where I'm like, I don't really understand that head-to-head, But first you need to see Samsonova get there, and Rybakina, and I guess I'm just not really looking at it like that yet, especially when it's just one player, In that fourth round for Swiatek, I'm kind of thinking about it a bit more, because you have both Ostapenko and Garcia, so even if they're both just as erratic as Samsonova is, one of them has a better shot at getting there than just one player in the other section. So I guess that's why. But yeah, that's no, I guess. I just think that Sabalenka and Rybakina got average draws, really. There's not that much to talk about there. There are some dangerous players, but you kind of expect exactly something like that if you're a top seed. And they can't necessarily be too happy or too sad about the way their draws lined up. Maybe Sabalenka will be pleased that she gets Goff in her semi. Although Swiatek on grass, I think she would like the challenge as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, and that's the nature of the women's draw at the minute, is that everyone was always going to get potentially dangerous players in any section of the draw, right? I think it's a lot harder in the women's draw at any Grand Slam to have a Djokovic style draw where it's an easy first couple of rounds.
You could imagine like Djokovic plays a qualifier, right? Kopriva in the first round, and then a wild card or a qualifier in the second round. So like you could imagine something like that happening. But yeah, certainly both because of the best of three format and just in general how kind of if we get the first few seeds out in the women's draw, then it can be like total pandemonium. Like yeah, it is like usually just going to be that sort of draw for either Rybakina, Sabalenka, or whoever really who's in that top seed spot.
I'm seeing some people asking questions. Trace is asking about Jabeur's draw. I mean, she's not going to be happy about potentially doing another Rybakina quarter final. That's not ideal for her. But she doesn't exactly.
The early rounds are okay, right? Like it kind of gives you confidence that she could get there at least.
Yeah. I'm looking at this going, it is definitely plausible for her to get there. I think the Jabeur Pegula fourth round would be a bit of a coin flip. If it's Jabeur Bolt, I'd back Jabeur.
Yeah, I'm behind you. I'm with you on that. Svitolina third round maybe, Golubic, Niemeyer. But yeah, I guess if as I said earlier, like if Ons is gonna be a serious threat here, she should be making the fourth round, and after that it's kind of free for all.
Yeah, and then it's like bring it on. Let's see if she can beat Rybakina again. But yeah, I do find it funny how they are kind of drawn in the same sort of sections again. Yeah, I think we've kind of got everything out of that we wanted to. I'm certainly very excited for this draw, obviously, and breaking it all down. Yeah, it's not. It's quite interesting. I think certainly Swiatek Kenin opening round. Yeah, that's going to be the one that's probably going to be on the big screen on the Tuesday. But yeah, okay. So I think we've kind of broken everything down as much as we can in the initial things. I don't think it's changing too much how we're seeing things play out. I guess the question is if Iga does get upset in her section, which is very possible given how tough the draw is. Do you who do you see coming through that instead, or could it be literally
no
anyone?
favorite? There's
No
absolutely no favorite in there.
No,
because of all the concerns with Ostapenko, Garcia reliability. Collins, I think Wimbledon is probably her weakest major, and yeah, I just don't really know at all.
Yeah,
Vondrousova, I think
depends on her injury, right? Depends on her injury.
Yeah, I mean, I think that her Wimbledon title, is unlikely to be repeated. But like, if Swiatek loses here, why wouldn't she make the semis? Yeah, I think it'll just become super open. You've got players like, I don't know, Kudermetova in there even who could do it despite her form this year. Clara Towson maybe. Like, really, nothing would be surprising if Swiatek loses here, because all the players that can beat Swiatek, they are very inconsistent. And if they beat her, that does not mean that they will just, go on a fantastic run. It's not that sort of thing at all.
No, it's not. And I do actually agree with, I'm more with Ghibli on this one, that I actually think that because that lack of consistency from those players makes me think on the whole, Swiatek will probably make it through, most likely. But if she doesn't, it wouldn't be a huge surprise. I think that's kind of where I'm landing on it. And then that's the S. But yeah, I don't think it changes too much. Goff's draw first, 3 rounds, not too bad, and then 4th round it gets tricky, but it's going to be the same for everyone. I don't think how the draw's fallen changes the narrative of how we were going to see things play out in both draws, really, because the women's draw was always going to be about who's there who could upset the top 4 seeds. The men's draw was always going to be about where are Yannick and Carlos? They're probably making the semis. Is Novak going to get a draw that's going to help him make the semis? And who comes out? Who's going to be the 4th person in there? And I don't think the narratives have really changed despite some eye-catching results.
Yeah, I think there's literally like one main takeaway. Swiatek got a tough draw, and Berrettini potentially can play Sinner in round 2. Like, that's kind of the main 2 stories. Otherwise, I don't think much has changed. It was a little different last year in 2023 that even though we were also uncertain about Swiatek on grass, her draw was so good in the first few rounds and just in general in her half that she kind of became like the percentage favorite anyway, which she's clearly not right now. But that's kind of like the main difference to last year in terms of how the draw shaped opinion, I guess. Whereas on the men's, it's just like, well, all the top seeds are doing fine, it seems. Maybe Sinner has a tough second round, and Djokovic definitely got a draw that could lead to him just playing himself into shape.
Yeah, I think we can take away from this that Iga Swiatek fans will not be happy. Novak Djokovic fans will be happy. That's probably where we're going.
That's an interesting comment given what happened at the Australian Open, to be honest. Well, I know it was 2 sets still, but
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. Kenin at the first round of Wimbledon's nightmare opponent for top seeds, as we learned from last year. Right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. We've been on for an hour and a half. That is the Wimbledon draw, everyone. So lots to unpick, lots to digest. And if you want kind of a bit more of a more thoughtful, detailed breakdowns, we have got, and this is mainly for our newer viewers who may have joined us. Thanks for joining today. And hopefully you enjoyed our content if it's the first time with us. We have got ATP and WTA centric shows coming up, ATP Weekly and WTA Weekly, and they're going to be coming out on Sunday. They will be done as live streams, but you can watch them back or you can listen to those podcasts. And Damien is going to be handling the ATP one. I'll be handling the WTA one. So we'll kind of do a bit more detailed draw breakdowns on those shows, as well as looking back at the results from tournaments that have been going on, like Eastbourne, Mallorca, Bad Homburg. Yeah, I guess time's the TBC on those shows. But if you want kind of a bit more reflective, this is how we think things are going to play out. Stories we can pick out, a bit more detail. That's where you can find them. Yeah, I mean, Damien, I think we're being asked when ATP Weekly's happening. Is it happening Saturday or Sunday?
I don't know.
Okay, it's up to you. You decide. You're the one in charge. You're flying the plane.
I mean, I'm supposed to do this with Mario, right? So he also has to get a say in that. So
okay. TBC, keep an eye on the channel, check for them to be live streamed, and that's where you'll get thoughtful breakdowns of results and the draws. Not that we aren't always thoughtful, but at least we've got time to sort of digest things a little bit.
Pavel Kotov, by the way, Ghibli, really? I don't know. I'd like to feel no, I don't know. I don't know if I should say it, but I'd like to think I'm a bit less chubby.
Okay. I mean, Vanch has also told me that I look a bit like Cam Norrie. So clearly, if you wanted a Norrie-Kotov match, this is the closest thing you've got.
We got a Norrie-Kotov match, right, at the French, so.
True. Yeah, so maybe maybe that's our dream sort of doubles match. Enough of this nonsense. So yeah, this is go. Wimbledon coverage officially launched, everyone, and when the tournament gets underway, I will be the team will be bringing you live coverage, live streams, live commentaries of matches from there, and we're looking forward to enjoying Wimbledon with all of you. So I think that's where we wrap it up. Thanks everyone for joining. See you for ATP and WTA Weekly. Until then, take care and keep talking tennis.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.